Good morning and welcome to Grand Final Day. We are seconds away from kickoff in the 2024 Lindroth Cup Grand Final. I'm your commentator Gerard McClenaghan, joined by Mel Carwa, as Chris Richards, the man in the middle, consults with the captains and his assistant referees. He's happy, we're good to go, and the big dance is underway. Powerhouse in the first half will be running left to right on your screens at home in the green and black hoops, taking on the reigning premiers, Endeavour Hills, in the maroon and white, who will be running right to left in the first half. And immediately it is Powerhouse looking to escape from their own half. That's a decent carry there from Coleman before Cook puts it through the hands onto the right edge. Got a bit of a 2-on-1 here if they can work it. As Stoltz flirts with the touchline, does well to stay in, but a slight knock on. And beautiful conditions greeting us here today, Mel.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Grand final day again, sun is shining. A bit of a slight breeze coming in from the north, I believe, and it's 17 degrees, but yeah, it feels a little bit warmer. And the pitch is actually quite dry. Had a bit of rain overnight, but this sun basking down is cleared it all up, so it's actually pristine conditions to play on.
Endeavour Hills chasing a three-peat, third consecutive win. They have been the standard in Victorian women's rugby over the last 3 years. Who have you got your eye on today? Who were the game breakers for the Eagles?
So strong all over the park, actually. But what I'm really interested is the centre pairing. That's between the captains, Ian Talia and Tawila Pritchard. That centre pairing, 12 and 13, is going to be so dominant and hard to crack defensively, I think, today.
You've been reading some articles.
Yeah, well, there's a great article written by one Gerard McClenaghan on the meat pie.
It was someone else.
Oh,
can't reveal their identity, Mel.
But, no, fantastic. And Powerhouse as well. Goodness me, did they have a semi-final for the ages last week against Melbourne Uni to make it to the big dance. And they've also got such strength, particularly in their back row. Their back row and their front row. And there's veterans across the park, such as Nikki Cook, who will be pulling the strings with her boot today.
Great shove from the Powerhouse scrum early, flexing their muscle. That's a decent little in and away line there as Donohoe takes it into contact. Round the corner they come. Coleman going a little bit sideways there and dispatched by the defence behind the D-line. So Powerhouse, nice little tip pass there. Looks a little bit forward and is called by Chris Richards. You did watch that semi-final last week, and it was a ding-dong battle. You touched on the back row of Powerhouse. So much of their success relies on them today, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. They've just got such workhorses across the park. And that you just saw it just then, their ability and their trust in each other that put the little pop ball through. In particular, I think Alana Fraser and Emma Fabi last week were just so solid. And they were spurred on also by their front row, Beth Cregan at hooker. Keep an eye on her today. Just such a powerful ball carrier. And,
well, there you go. An example of the power of that Powerhouse front row forcing the error at scrum time. I must admit, first penalty of the game, I was a little bit surprised to see them take the scrum on their own 22, but when I saw the flex of that scrum, the dominance they had, and now it's been replicated in the second scrum, it looks like this might be a bit of a tactic today from House, trying to call the scrum as often as possible.
Very well could be. Very well could be.
So Nikki Cook lines up. It looks like they've got all of their backs aligned to the right. Carolyn standing deep in the pocket behind the scrum, so she can actually go either to the left or the right. Only one Eagles defender in the backfield, Fungana, all on her lonesome. And Granada's bundled back, but another long arm penalty. And let's see what they do here. Will they go for another scrum?
Well, it is a little bit windy, but I think just to get some purchase on this now, Nikki Cook's going to look to enter the opposition half. It's come a bit short there, but, you know, they had a strong line out as well last week. And that sort of caused University some havoc. So we'll see how this pans out.
So first line out of, I was going to say the afternoon, used to calling these games in the afternoon, of the morning. And toughest field in suburban rugby to throw at. And immediately they find their target in Coleman. And here comes the maul. They've marched about 10 metres, 12, 15, before it's eventually brought down. That's a good maul. The forwards doing the job early for Powerhouse. Granados goes digging. Cook puts it through the hands. They race up quickly on Daly. Takes 2 to get it to turf. They want to come around the corner, courtesy of Cregan. Oh, nice little inside ball there. O'Sullivan grasped 15 metres in from touch. Running the hard line there is Fabi, straight off 9. And there was a slight obstruction, just getting a timing run. And that'll be the first long arm to the Eagles.
That's great enterprising play there by Powerhouse. That's twice that Twila Pritchard in defence has shot up, and Laura Daly has read that really well, held the ball a little bit, used some footwork, and they are penetrating this centre pairing. So good early exchange of blows there.
It's just one of the Powerhouse players down in backfield, getting back to her feet. So Harmony Vital, one of the real weapons of this Eagles outfit, might not find touch there. Oh, it's allowed to bounce, and, well, it's worked out for them in the end. But for a fleeting moment there, I thought Kate O'Sullivan was going to keep it in play.
Yeah, our own Kate O'Sullivan, it's a bit deceiving. It kind of dips off to the top left-hand corner of the field. It's good for the runoff, but, yeah, just got to put a little bit extra on it.
Fata Eli goes immediately into the back line for the Eagles. Look at her loitering there. Let's see if that's where they use it. Vital, there she goes. Eli with the bump off and picks up an extra 4-5 metres over the A-line. She's held up in the tackle, needs to get it to turf. Eventually she does, but unplayable maul. That means it's a Powerhouse scrum.
Wow, again, just sort of neutralising these big, powerful forward Endeavour Hills runners is Powerhouse. So they should be proud of that. Nothing going through the centre of the field today. And so we find ourselves with another scrum and the opportunity for Powerhouse to express themselves in the backs.
Just fancy. They might enjoy having quite a few scrums set today, Powerhouse. An opportunity just to sap some energy out of this bigger Eagles team. And despite the size advantage that Eagles hold, at scrum time, it's been Powerhouse who have had the early advantage, courtesy of O'Sullivan, Cregan and Reid. As we set up here, they're going to start with the 4-2 split. Where would you like to see Powerhouse run it from this situation?
Tell you one player that I was really impressed with from Powerhouse last week was the fullback in Natalie Stoles. So her with a bit of time and space, if they can get the ball to her, she has a little bit of toe, shows a bit of gas.
Granados comes to the right instead and is grasped. Flings it backwards, trying to create a bit of an overlap on the short side. That's a bit of a brave pass, but they do well to retain possession as Daly plays it through her legs. Bugden, show and go, running straight at Penny Eli. Try to make a play on the ball, couldn't make it stick though. Around the corner they come. Line speed so good from the Eagles, racing up on that first receiver, but it's the post-contact meters of Cregan that's impressive. Look at it go. They were a little over-eager perhaps in defence though.
Powerhouse just really sending through some strong ball runners. Ali Coleman in the number 8 jersey for Powerhouse took a bit of a knock, but she's back up, which is good to see. But yeah, this consistent attacking pressure as Cook finds touch. It's been a bit of a one-sided possession affair, hasn't it?
Yeah. Controlled the game well so far, Powerhouse. Denying some of these dangerous ball runners of Endeavour Hills any possession early. Of course, we thought it would be the other way around. The unstoppable attack of the Eagles versus the impenetrable green screen of Powerhouse, but in the early exchanges, it's been the Powerhouse attack courtesy of Alison Coleman dominating up front. And a late turnover there gives the ball to the Eagles in their half, and they'll get another penalty, but well, Coleman was almost through.
Very good rugby IQ there. She found that Endeavour Hills did not bind onto that maul, so she had to take it forward, and take it forward she did. That was a wonderful run. Unfortunately, snuffed out there by Sydney Neopolusu from Endeavour Hills in the red headgear there. So there's smarts, right, high rugby IQ from both sides. The back row is going to head. This has been a good final so far, but we're back for a really fantastic view of another line out right in front.
So Barry goes to the middle, finds her woman. Great throw that. Vital, flat ball again, looking for Eli. And again, another bump and run. Oh, and it's ripped away. Illegally so, though.
Unlucky, another ruck penalty, ruck infringement penalties. They want to clean that up because they are piggybacking Endeavour Hills into the danger zone here. But it does look like some of the coaches' instructions is to pressure that breakdown so that they don't get that fast, clean ball.
Better job of finding touch on this occasion. And that'll set up shop just outside the 22.
Big shout out here to Claudia Barry, who's under 18 herself. Yeah. So it's one of the development players that's coming through this Endeavour Hills system, and plus the she's a player that features in the Rebel Shield schoolgirls competition. She plays with Baba, so really great to see some young players.
To the back they go, opening up space in the midfield again. Second woman play out the back, flat looking for Pritchard, bumps off one, gets up to the 22. Around the corner they come again. Vital puts it through their hands. Collio couldn't handle it though. They tried to go around them on this occasion, and Powerhouse shut it down.
Yeah, Laura Daly and Maeve Donahue in the centres are really going to have their work cut out for them, but they're doing a good job so far. No clean line breaks from Endeavour Hills, and we know they are so dangerous about those.
Cregan to the back, tapped off by Coleman. And so they'll be able to escape here, courtesy of the run, as Fraser bangs away into the defensive line. Well, that was a bit of a wayward pass back down the short side. Coleman has to clean up. That's her fourth carry of the game already, Coleman. And they've got the advantage as well to go with it. Reed explored the short side, nothing there. So they come back to the open. Spoilt for options left and right, so Cook plays it to the right. Again, Daly always looking for that offload. Wasn't any real advantage though, so we'll come back for the long arm.
Again, you're right. Ali Coleman having a brilliant game so far. Just the hard running, straightening up of the attack, which is going to allow Nikki Cook both options, both sides. So I'd love to see Tanya Granados just take a little bit of time with her passing, and just to make sure that she's putting the right pods into shape. Perhaps a little bit of game day grand final day nerves, which are, very, very welcome. But, yeah, I'd love to see that 9-10 pairing from Powerhouse just start to tighten up a bit and settle into their shape.
Well, Cregan has found her mark every time of asking so far today. And again, she finds Coleman. Unable to pierce the line-out defensive line this time, though. And that'll set up an opportunity for Fabi running hard off 9. Well met there by Filipina. Interestingly, Cook puts it on the shoe now. I haven't seen too many kicks out of hand as Funganar goes back. Claims it on her 22. Beats one. Good tackle put on there. Reinforcements arrive to secure possession, though. Best territory of the game so far for Powerhouse. How do the Eagles want to escape their half, though? This will be interesting to see. Ball in hand or put it on the foot. We'll soon find out. Harmony Vital happy to put it through the hands as she finds Matsu. It's a decent carry from the prop. They're almost up to the 10-metre line. Down the short side they go again. Vital puts it out wide, gets the offload back, but again, the green screen answers the call. And for the third time now that the Eagles have tried to go around Powerhouse, they've been bundled into touch.
A wonderful covering tackle there by the number 9 Granados. But Endeavour Hill stretching, this time finding the edge, which they haven't had a chance to do so far in the game. So that's a testament to defence on both sides for Powerhouse, just shutting them up down the middle and the edges.
So Powerhouse will start the set inside Eagles territory. Despite having the lion's share of possession, most of the territory has been in favour of the Eagles so far. That's a wayward pass there. And they lose about 10 metres on the play. Granados ragdolled on the turf. Fabi has to clean up. Nice little tip pass there. Great tackle low by Pritchard. And now we'll get a long arm penalty.
A clean out coming in straight from the side, which was really unfortunate, but there was a lot of power in that clean out, but just not technical enough at this stage. And you're right, it'll start to get a bit frustrating for Powerhouse. They've had the lion's share, as you said, of all the ball, but I wonder how long they can continue this on sort of attacking and staying within their half.
So this will represent the best opportunity of the game so far for the Eagles. They'll have a set-piece opportunity inside the 22. Claudia Barry gazing into the sun as well. Double challenge, throwing up the hill and looking into the sun. And it's picked off, so an easy escape for Bugden as she crashes into the defensive line. Still inside the 22. As they come around the corner, great double shot in defence. The centre's banging. And they're knocked back to their Powerhouse. Might force a bit of a rethink, and it does, as Coleman goes back down the short side. Got taken a little bit high, so they've got a free roll of the dice here, Powerhouse. They take it to the line, put it on the shoe. No real advantage, though. And well, first real error of the day for Claudia Barry with that line-out throw.
I think it was brilliantly tipped off, actually. But this is may come to be a problem now. Ali Coleman's been taken high. This is the second infringement against Endeavour Hills right now. So both teams just giving each other possession of the ball. Which team is actually going to hold on to it for a few more phases is what I'd like to see.
Cook finds touch over by the hill, which is slowly starting to grow in size. And of course, plenty of Powerhouse support here today with teams represented across most of the games. So you'd have to say there'd be a bit more support for the women from Albert Park. Well claimed by Mims as Fabi takes it into contact, brought down by Filipina. It's been a good matchup so far today. Down the short side they want to go again with Coleman. Running straight at Barry. Picks about 3 or 4 metres post contact as well. On the hard line, Bugden straight into the teeth of the defence. Well met there by Nui Pelusu. Happy to play one off rugby for now is Powerhouse. The Eagles player failing to roll away there. Cook, show and go. They raced up quickly on the midfield. Cook wants the offload away. Gets the arm free. Eventually Pritchard wraps her up though. Good carry though. Gets them on the front foot. A bit of space on the right hand side if they can shift it quick enough. They go to O'Sullivan. Keeps the pressure on before they reverse it back to the open side. Reed with the carry now. Opening up the field left and right. Granados wants it to the left. That's where they go. How's the skills from Cregan putting it on the shoe? Funganar is back there to clean up. And we'll take a pause.
They're coming back for the offside penalty. The touchy had his flag up and the referee has given indication, and it was a good quick early play down this short side from Powerhouse, which caught them offside. And now you can see the referee having a chat to Captain Iron to just have a word to her girls about the repeated infringement. But now Powerhouse, with that brilliant step and read from the number 10, Cook, she really has put them on the front foot. So a bit of wind beneath their sails now, Powerhouse, and probably their first entry into the 22.
This kick's so important. Oh, it comes off the side of a boot.
That'll be my fault.
And into the commentary box. So it'll be on the 10-metre line. Only had very few glimpses of the Eagles' half so far of Powerhouse. I'm going to call a short line out again as well. 5-woman line out. 1-3-1 split. Coleman in the middle, claims it. And immediately they go looking for Fraser. Oh, not releasing.
Yeah, wonderful display of skill there from number 20 on her back.
Well, they've gone for the quick tap. This is an interesting change in tactic from the Eagles. Eli gets it up to halfway. They've had enough of the set piece. They just want to play some footy. Second woman play out the back. This is where they're dangerous. Talia gets the half break. She's up over the 10-metre line. And, rips it free. Knock on. So they've got the advantage here. Have Powerhouse. First real opportunity of the day for the Iron Lady, Talia. And you can see what a threat she was. So Powerhouse now. Bugden gets up and goes again. Wasn't held, so that's okay. Lays it through the legs. They come to the open side through Reed. The forwards fold around the corner, but they use Cook instead. Takes it to the line. Delays the pass. Just trying to keep these midfield defenders from rushing up too quickly. Here she goes again. Coleman. Creates a bit of space for Bugden now. That's a strong carry. They're almost up to halfway. Pritchard makes the play. Almost steals it. Reed. Show and go. This is great ball retention here from the house. To the open side they go, putting it through the hands. Second woman play. They race up. Was that an obstruction? No, play on! Spoke too soon.
Oh, it's just a little bit mistimed there, but a wonderful attempt at a short line there. But just called for obstruction. The Endeavour Hills players up in arms. Really good enterprising play here from Powerhouse. Just didn't manage to finish it off.
Patel bangs that out onto field 2. What have we got over there? Bendigo v Powerhouse. One of the lower grade fixtures. So beautiful to see. Festival of Rugby here today. All 3 fields in operation at the moment. Of course, field 1, where you'll watch all of the live stream games today. We'll have the Lindroth Cup after this. We'll have the Premiership Grand Final between Shepparton and Geelong. And then the Jewish Shield Grand Final at 3 between Footscray and Powerhouse. And Powerhouse trying to start the day and get the momentum going in their Lindroth Cup.
Great line-out steal there, but unlucky. They've just given it all that good work straight back from in front. What would you do here, Gerard?
Tap. I just like it when they start to play a bit of footy, this Endeavour Hills team. They've been starved of possession for so long. And I'd love to see what they could do with 3 or 4 phases of footy in their hands.
Looks like Captain Talia's heard you say that. They're off and running.
Inside ball was not the right idea. And yeah, I think if you're going to tap, it's the old saying coaches used to say, if you're going to tap, tap quick or don't tap at all.
Well, head coach Kema Etwali and the coaching management team would probably be thinking right now that they haven't just finished off their opportunities here in Endeavour Hills, because they've had a couple of turnovers, strongly won turnovers here, and have camped them in their half, but just unable to convert to points. And Powerhouse, conversely, would be happy that they just keep escaping.
Yeah. Scrum goes down. Another long arm penalty for the House. Well, they haven't strung it for the phases together yet at all, Endeavour Hills. They haven't got 4 phases together yet throughout this first half. Whereas Powerhouse have gotten over the 4 phase mark on 4 occasions. As that kick, is that going to find touch? Yeah, it does. After a bounce, very lucky. But yeah, hard to build pressure when you're not holding it for, more than 3 phases, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's a credit to the defensive effort from Endeavour Hills, really just stifling everything that Powerhouse is throwing at them. But it is a grand final, and as they say, it'll be the team who sort of can hold out and break through at the end. So fitness may be a factor in this game in the second half. This time last week, Powerhouse had already started their scoring affairs with a couple of early tries against Melbourne University, and they just held out and they maintained. So trust Powerhouse to have the legs to go the distance, but also trust that Endeavour Hills, just like last year, can score from anywhere and when it really counts.
Cheeky little line-out play at the front. Finds the mark on the 5-metre line. Grace Bacon. And, well, they work it into the midfield. Racing up quickly on Filipina. And there's the turnover. Chance now as Daly gets them over halfway. Slow ball here for Granados, though, so that'll give the defence time to reset. As they come down the short side, looking for Coleman. This is the danger woman. Beats one. Can't beat the second. Gets the offload off the deck, though. And O'Sullivan maintains the rampage. They're on the front foot now. Pick and go through the middle. Illegally so. So we'll go back for the long arm, but that was their best chance yet.
It was brilliant. It was 2-person tackle, and Bugden with the strip had the ball, but then they turned defence into attack like that. Ali Coleman and Beth Crayer just dominating this forward pack is showing real dominance for their Powerhouse side today.
So, intriguingly, they've elected for the scrum. I like to see this. We know that they've been pretty dominant in the scrum so far, and I just wonder, with Alison Coleman such a threat, the number 8, and a 20-metre blindside to work with here, Mel, might we see a little bit of a short side play? And as I say that, this is interesting. Funganar, the fullback, comes flat on the short side, so there's no one in the backfield, almost inviting a short side play and possibly a grubber kick into the corner.
Well, we know that Cook does have that arsenal on her. She can find all the space with her boot.
Granados decides to go to the left with the pass that wasn't very sympathetic, and Cook wears it for her troubles. Counter-ruck can't work. Granados throws a hot potato past the left. Fabi catches it on the back foot, and they're about 10 metres behind where the scrum was. Coleman. Bugden. What a tip pass that was. Finds Reed. Gets him behind the defence, and there's O'Sullivan, her prop partner. This is great interplay of passing here between the forwards of Powerhouse. Again, though, we've got slow ball. It just gives that defence time to set, and that's what happens. That's a great shot there, Filipina. So they put it on the shoe. Decent little grubber into coffin corner. Funganar has to race back. She's isolated here. They need to make an early tackle on her. And Funganar does a fantastic job of escaping. Saves the day for Endeavour Hills, the fullback. And now, Harmony Vital can pump it long straight to her opposite number. And Nikki Cook puts a little chip kick through. She might have overcooked it. She has, in fact. And that'll go out on the full.
What a return from Funganar. They were in big trouble there because they had all the attacking players from Powerhouse swarming down into that coffin corner after several phases. So now Endeavour Hills escape through a great run and boot from Vital.
Just going to pause play here for a bit. Who's getting attention? There's a, looks like
Coleman.
Coleman and an Eagles player as well, so there's a few wounded Warriors for the time being.
Geez, I could just feel like it's starting to turn. That powerhouse, after all the defending in their half, has finally spent the last 5 minutes in Endeavour Hills territory. But the shots that are coming through from Endeavour Hills, really technical, and they're straight over the ball, putting pressure on it and slowing it down so Granados can't have that clean ball that she wants to service her players and her 10. So both teams using their weapons and their assets to their best. And as we can see here now, Powerhouse just starting to creep into where they want to be, the attacking half.
Yeah, it's been an arm wrestle. Does beg the question about which side has had the better preparation going into the grand final. Powerhouse winning in a really tight game last week, whereas the Eagles weren't really tested in that 60-point route. Does that perhaps impact a grand final when you come into the game off the back of a really easy win? Whose position would you rather be in today?
It's a good question. I think having a real tough, hard-fought win does something to a team, and it just brings a little bit more belief. But Endeavour Hills will have that belief from the past few seasons of their excellence in Victorian women's rugby.
So Powerhouse lose about 5 metres post-play. Cregan, show and go, runs back into the teeth of the Eagles' defence. Round the corner they come. Coleman, show and go herself. Pinches an extra metre or two. Here goes Bugden with the cheeky pick and go. Gets up, goes again, but she did so illegally. She hadn't placed the ball before she got up.
That was just inches in that. If she had only let that ball go before she sort of spun around and picked it back up again. She was held. Knees definitely hit the ground there. Unfortunate there for Katie Bugden after a fantastic run from her and Coleman. Again, two players having a wonderful day, but right in front of the referee. And now Endeavour Hills on the attack through Neopolusu. Solid charge.
The clock here showing 30 minutes elapsed so far in the first half. And of course, real time is only known by the referee in the middle as they play second woman play out the back. Oh, Pritchard couldn't handle it. And for all the talk pre-game about the strength of these two centres, they have been suffocated early and haven't had a chance yet to bend this defensive line.
It is the matchup of the game. Hey, these centres, that was a wonderful read from Laura Daly and Maeve Donoghue to put that pressure on two absolute weapons in Endeavour Hills, in Talia and Pritchard. Both centres absolutely hammer and tong at each other today, which is really good to see.
So again, we're going to see this interesting formation from a scrum. It's a little bit closer to the middle of the field than the last scrum in almost identical circumstances. This time they're going to start with two backs, Powerhouse on the right. And as I say that, looks like Natalie Reid coming to the sideline. Is this a permanent thing? Is this a blood bit?
I really hope that it's nothing to do with injury, but Natalie Reid, she has had a lot to do with this development of this power side and just the advocacy and trying to get new players in every single year. So she puts her hand up in the air and has taken her headgear off. It could be her for the afternoon, but she can be so proud of what she's done for this team this year.
Well, it's interesting. It wasn't like she was running off in a gingerly manner or anything as Bridget Inder comes on in her place. Very surprising call. So I'd love to know a bit more about that. But for now, 4-2 split on the scrum. Still got the dominance at scrum time. Enter Bridget Inder and enter a penalty. Look at this. They're just walking forward at will. Powerhouse now come down the short side. This is the overlap they were trying to find as O'Sullivan gets it back on the inside, finds Granados. They're up to the 22. Here comes the counter ruck. Great work from the Eagles. They do well to retain possession at the last moment, O'Sullivan. So they'll have the ball back, bang on the 22. Here she goes, Coleman running headfirst into the defence. She has been everywhere today. Fabi, lovely little tip pass to Bugden. Bugden gets a half break, gets a nice little offload off the deck back to Fabi, and they're about 10 metres short of the chalk. Numbers on the left. Cook puts it through the hands, cutting back inside. They find Daly. Finally finds the grass. Down the short side, they want to go again. Early ball looking for Carolyn on the edge. They're awake to it, though. And Powerhouse have got their best opportunity of the day so far. Here goes Fabi, banging into the defensive line. It's 5 minutes in it. Oh, straight through the hey diddle diddle. They go. And Powerhouse open up the scoring in the 2024 Lindroth Cup.
The best passage of play we've seen so far in the match. Powerhouse from that dominant scrum. Ali Coleman off the back. They chested the short side. It was shut down by Endeavour Hills. But then the presence of mind to swing it to the open side. They even got it as far as the winger Carolyn to involve her in the game. That almost went through every set of hands. But that middle pack from Powerhouse is absolutely steering the ship here today. From Katie Bugden, she had a couple of touches there and finally is rewarded with a try. I did not pick it going that way at the start of this match, but yeah, Powerhouse have found a new level and Endeavour Hills will need to hit back strongly, which I'm sure they will.
You're absolutely right. That middle part of the team, the Bugden, Fraser, Fabi, Coleman, I love the interplay of passing. And Bugden, not for the first time today, we've seen her, when she gets to the base of a ruck, feigns as though she's just, sealing off the breakdown and takes a sneaky pick and go. So clever and catches them unaware more often than not.
Yeah, she's having a captain's knock today. She has a real explosive turn of pace for a second rower. She's got a basketballing background, so her feet, very good footwork into contact, and it's really, I know from experience, it's really hard to bring her down.
Cook makes no mistake with the conversion, and 5 turns into 7. And their first entry into the opposition 22 is rewarded with 7 points. That is ruthless. That is ruthless.
Powerhouse faithful will be happy with this start for sure, but they have a few games to watch all over Box Hill Rugby Union Football Club today.
Yeah, as it currently stands, there's a Powerhouse game behind us, so we've got a lot of stiff necks at the moment. We've got Powerhouse fans turning left, right, trying to watch 2 games at once, and going to have a sore neck by the end of the 80 minutes. So, Fatau goes long. That's a really good kick inside the 22. And, well, they're going to kick it or run it. They're going to run it. Interesting choice there as Donahoe beats 1, beats 2. What a return this is. She's almost up to the 10-metre line before she's eventually grasped. So they come back to the try scorer, Bugden, running straight into Filipina. Got the tails up now, don't they? And why wouldn't they? Because Coleman's got ball in hands. Great tackle put on her. Opens up a bit of space for Cook. Using the backs, they race up on them though. Stoltz can't handle it. They lose about 10 metres and she might have turned it over here. Eventually reinforcements arrive and, well, they're on the back foot here. They're well inside the 22, going backwards at the rate of knots. Cook eventually decides to kick it. It's not going to go out on the full. Oh, there was a chance there for O'Sullivan to catch it. Pass back on the inside. Funginar looks in for support. She's got Penny Eli. And now suddenly the Eagles are 5 metres away from the try line. They've set up shop 15 metres in from touch. Pick and go, one to the right. Nui Pulusu. The forwards pile into the base here. Rolling up their sleeves, trying to bash it with the pick and go. Here comes the counter ruck. Might not work though, as they're now 1 metre short of the chalk. Pick and go around the corner. Matsu knocked backwards. That's a good defensive effort, so they use the backs instead. Wide pass, numbers on the right. There she goes. Talia, the skipper, breaches the defensive line and gets the first for the Eagles.
What a wonderful pressuring tackle on the fullback Stoltz to just pin them in their own 10 metres from their try line. And the Cook escape plan didn't quite work out, but relentless. Endeavour Hills flooding the breakdown with their forwards and then finding the perfect time. And it was none other than Captain Iron Talia that's just had a good game so far, steering her centre pairing there with Pritchard. And to find the chalk now, they would be thinking that they're definitely in this fight.
Well, you can only lock up that centre pairing for so long. And to be fair, Powerhouse have done a very decent job for the opening 37 minutes of locking down their two biggest threats, the centres of Endeavour Hills. First real chance, Talia got it with a little bit of time and space, and she turned it into a try. Opportunity now to convert her own try, basically in front. And the kick is good.
What a final this has been. We're all locked up. It has been a very, very consistent arm wrestle. Each team starting to express themselves, and it may come down to a bit of discipline. I would hate to see any team send a player to the bin at all, but for now, all 15 players staying on here. So discipline and fitness. Well, we're in for a great second half as well.
Cook directs this to the left.
That's uncharacteristic. So
second time today out on the full. So
got the scrum option in the middle here, I think.
do you want to take the scrum, or would you rather a line out?
Well, good call. They do have the option for the line out. It looks like they are heading over that side. It's a rarity. They usually go for the centre field just to spread, options both sides. But after the previous scrum, I think there was really dominant showing by Powerhouse. Yeah, line out might be the safer option.
So the pressure now turns to Claudia Barry, this young gun for the Eagles, staring into the sun. See, she's being shielded by the sun with the ball, casting a shadow over her eyes. Always difficult, and she's throwing into a bit of a breeze, and that perhaps is why it was a little flatter than she would have intended as it trickles over the chalk.
They've tried that front zero ball, and it did work out this side. So that is an option as well. But
take two.
Take two. Still Endeavour Hills ball.
They're going to go a short line out again. Fata Eli so often used as a battering ram on first phase, the number 8 for the Eagles. She's waiting patiently in the back line. Keep an eye out for her. This time they go to the back, and it's not quite straight, knocked on. Oh, it's such a challenge throwing it long here at Box Hill. And, well, that'll be oranges, folks. And at half-time, we are locked up 7 apiece. And Mel, not much splitting these two sides, but who are you tipping at this point of the contest based on what you've seen in the opening 40?
Oh, we've had the chance to see a lot, haven't we? Powerhouse and their forward pack particularly have led their team to the success that we've seen on the scoreboard, first try scoring and its dominant scrum. But Endeavour Hill's defensive effort across the park, their ability to turn the ball over or at least put Powerhouse under pressure has been their strength in this first half. But as I sort of alluded to just a moment ago, if they can stay on the field, cool heads, and whoever can hold it out to the very ends of this game will be victorious. So it's too close to call, and so is the score.
Well, folks, we'll be back very shortly with all the second half action, so stay tuned for the second half of the Lindroth Cup.
the women's rugby continues up. This game on field 3. It's the Lindroth 10. First time we can see the Brooks Grey Bulldogs today. They'll take on Endeavour on the field 3. That's the Lindroth 10. 12:45.
Welcome back to the second half of the 2024 Lindroth Cup Grand Final, coming to you live from the Box Hill Rugby Club. I'm your commentator, Gerard McClanahan, joined by Mel Kawa, and we're 40 minutes away from crowning our 2024 Lindroth Cup champion. Of course, the first of a triple header today. 3 games we're going to be live streaming on the main field. And I'll tell you what, they've left it till the very end, the rugby gods, haven't they? Delivering the most picture-perfect day of the rugby year. Had miserable weeks, Mel, haven't we had all year, and now we finally get some sun.
All worth it.
All worth it indeed. Well, here's a change. So immediately Endeavour Hills have gone to the bench, and that looks like Rosval who's on. So changes early for the Eagles as they work it to Faiwaso in the midfield. Around the corner they come. Pritchard takes it to the line, try to get around this powerhouse defensive line. That's no easy feat. And playing a little bit quicker now, Vital fangs it into the middle. And, well, hello, we've got a few replacements.
Celeste
Udamapu is also on. So, Vital puts it on the shoe. Stoltz waits underneath it, takes it on the full. They had an advantage way back on the other side, but hello, interesting. Couple of changes straight at half-time. What might have inspired that, Mel?
Maybe just a sort of belief in the bench from Endeavour Hills that they could last out this next tough 40 minutes it will be. But with all the energy and with, you know, the title on the line, they've just sent in the reserves quite early just to refreshen up that front row especially.
Yeah. So I fancy it's Matsu who's off for Celeste. Oh, hello.
Looks like on the behind us, Bendigo Rugby have run in one against Powerhouse.
Miners are in, and you were talking to Bully Shaw a second ago. Powerhouse currently playing on all 3 fields. Field 1, 2 and 3. They're in 3 consecutive grand finals, so their fans are getting the step count in today because they've been running up and down, Mel, trying to watch 3 games at once. That's
right. Makes it the ticket, you get a little bit more bang for your buck for your Powerhouse.
Well, throw not straight. So, chance now for Powerhouse, who I suspect might go for the scrum if given the choice here.
The wind playing a little bit of a factor. It was a bit stronger at the start of this match and seemed to have died off right at the half, and now is picking up just slightly. So scrum option might be the better option for both teams if they have the choice going for the rest of this match.
So we're thinking Rosval might be on for Bacon in the locking position. So 2 changes to the tight 5 to start the second half for Endeavour Hills.
Just having to reset that scrum there. Granados just losing the ball, and players all in a very precarious position, ready to set, but they've just blown that up so they can all set and get stable again.
Was an area in the first half that proved to be an Achilles heel for Endeavour Hills. Gave away a couple of penalties at scrum time as Powerhouse were able to march their way forward at will. Let's see if that theme continues in the second half with the change in the front row. Celeste now on. Utumapu. Nah, same old story. Powerhouse doing it easily. And look at that. They've already marched it up to the halfway line and earned the penalty. And you were saying at the break, Mel, you said if Powerhouse were, when we were chatting on the side, to win it, the strategy for them has to be as many scrums as possible in the second half. Slow the game down. They don't want long passages of play. They want to, we use the term, I suppose, ball in play minutes. The less ball in play minutes, the better, because in the set piece, they seem to have the upper hand.
Yeah, Powerhouse here have, as we were talking about, that forward pack, that engine room in tight, close play footy. They can really grind it out, and that's what led to their first try. Endeavour Hills, on the other hand, they sniff, or if they sniff a drop ball or the slightest player that's under pressure, putting under pressure, they can score off an instant. So different strategies there.
Coleman, not for the first time, winning it at the line out and immediately attacking through the middle. Interesting strategy. It's provided useful meters for her early today. They come around the corner. Here goes Fabi. One off. Running at Vital. Just trying to take the number 10 out of the game as Daly cuts back in the middle. Stays on her feet. Daly rolls forward towards the 5 metre line and slow ball yet again. So they work it down the short side now. Donahoe race up on her. Get the Stoltz pass away. They need support at the breakdown though, and it eventually arrives. Granados comes down the short side, looking for O'Sullivan. That's a good tackle. She's 5 metres in from touch and 5 metres out from the chalk. Flat and hard, they find Fraser, trying to deliver the knockout blow. Pick and go now from Inda. This is better stuff from Powerhouse. Granados throws it off her knees. Cook works it into the middle, bouncing ball. Stoltz picks it up. Gets through one tackle, looks for the offload, held up high. Barry does well to stop her. They're a metre short. Slow ball here now for the house as the forwards eventually arrive. Counter ruck comes. Doesn't work initially, but they'll get the scrum put in.
Oh, my heart's in my throat here. That was a real scary passage of play there. That pass from Granados I thought was going to get picked off by EH, and I thought someone was going the length. But Powerhouse maintaining this pressure, sustained pressure, and Endeavour Hills on their line. And now with a scrum to come, Powerhouse would be feeling very dangerous right here.
Here we go. The last 3 scrums, Powerhouse have marched at 10 metres upfield before eventually drawing a penalty. And this scrum's going to start on the 5 metre line. I don't know what's a better bet. The penalty try or possibly Alison Coleman picking up the meat. But yeah, you're going to be very nervous if you're an Eagles fan right about now. They're in a very precarious position. They're going to start with a 4-2 split. Granados about to feed it. They got 2 backs, headlined by Stoltz on the short side. They might not need the backs if the forwards get the job done here. As Granados feeds it. Better shove this time from the Eagles. But here comes Coleman at the back, soccering it forward, waiting patiently on her perch. When is she going to strike? She goes just short, a metre in it. They're going to have to use the pick and go of Bugden, looking for her second, and she's got it. Katie Bugden, take a bow.
That was classic. Champagne scrummaging rugby from Powerhouse. Ali Coleman with the skill. It's not hard. It's not easy to soccer at that ball, keeping going forward. It was a better shove from Endeavour Hills, but this forward pack from Powerhouse are really threatening Endeavour Hills. And another 5-pointer, and this time straight under the post again, or near the post. We'll be looking to add the pressure.
And there's no tee. The tee... Well, this is what happens when you play 3 grand finals simultaneously. Your tee people are stretched awfully thin, running across 3 different fields. And
it's been said before in rugby that the front row is probably one of the most crucial elements to your entire game plan. For this very fact is that as we see, there's many scrums throughout the game, and if you have a strong scrum that can at least hold to maintain possession or to try and steal possession in terms of tight head, it's just such a crucial weapon in your team, a front row. Yes. They don't get the respect that they deserve, that front row.
Cook has the flags raised from virtually in front and sends the lead back out to 7 points.
Don't count Endeavour Hills out at all, because as we can see, their rush defence and their ability to put pressure on Powerhouse to turn over ball is also their arsenal, and all of these backs can run the length at such pace to score and sniff out leads in an instant. So they'll be so what I think will happen is a strong chase after this Vatau restart, and watch the backs flying up to try and put pressure on Powerhouse.
Of course, Powerhouse conceded their last try immediately after scoring. Their inability to exit hurt them, and again they've allowed the ball to bounce, and it's the old adage, points don't count until you exit. And for the second time after scoring points, Powerhouse now find themselves in their own 22 in a precarious position. So last time they were in this position, after scoring points, it was a turnover inside their 22, which Endeavour Hills immediately swooped on and scored. What can they do from this line out to ease their nerves? Fabi claims it, and that's a good tactic, going to the maul, but bit of a truck and trailer perhaps.
Yes, Endeavour Hills sticking with their plan to not engage the maul. It was a wonderful line-out take at the back from Coleman, but very cluey. They did not join, so truck and trailers, it resulted in a penalty, and they go for the quick tap, sending Utumapu into contact.
So here they go, trying to respond immediately. Vatau looks for Eli in the middle. That's a decent carry. Held up high in the tackle, needs to get her knees to touch, and they do touch the turf. So they play second woman play out the back to Leah. Beats one, throws the offload. They got numbers on the right. Funganar gets it through the hands, looking for Colio in the corner.
Leo.
There's the response.
Fantastically worked try from all the space that they were given. Colio with the finish. That was a wonderfully worked try. It started with their forwards, the likes of Utumapu and Eli, just condensing that defensive line from Powerhouse. And then Vatau finding her outside backs, put it through the hands, and a bit of footwork to shake off that final defender in Stoltz. And just as we said, just as we predicted, their lightning quick response, Endeavour Hills never say die. And now it's a difficult kick, but Captain Talia is putting it on her back today. Great leadership from the young Eagle.
Well, it's a case of deja vu, and if there is one flaw in this Powerhouse game plan today, it's their exits from kickoff receipts. They haven't looked comfortable at all fielding these kickoffs, and lots of confusion in the backfield, allowing it to bounce, inviting the opposition into their 22. It's always a recipe for disaster. Talia from out wide has the direction, but doesn't have the legs.
The try scorer, Juliana Corlea, from very good rugby stock. Her mum, Sui Parasa, the captain of Samoan Manusina team, the women's team, and a formidable player at number 7. And so Looks like her daughter is following in some very, very big footsteps.
And she ends up on the wing.
Hey,
As a flanker.
she's got years
Raising
to come.
a winger.
I think she's got years to come. She'll eventually find her way inside when she learns.
So Nikki Cook, with her kicking game, might have to be the one to steady the ship for Powerhouse and start getting this team playing in the right patches. That kick goes straight down to Leah's throat. That's never a good idea. And that's why Talia marches it up to the 10-metre line, gets them on the front foot. They immediately turn to Udamapu with a strong carry, looking at her skittling defenders left, right and centre. The pass isn't a great one, and they have to go back into the 22 to collect. Fabi makes an important tackle on Fungana. Vital putting it through the hands. They've got numbers on the left. Pritchard got a bit of space now as they try to get on the outside, racing away down that left touchline. Great tackle. Granados in cover. Shot was a little bit high though, so they've got a free roll of the dice as they go to Eli. Always good for a yard or two. This is better front foot ball, and hey, guess what? First time they've held the ball for more than 4 phases. Endeavour Hills, this is where they're dangerous. They find Rosvol in the middle. That's a good carry from the replacement. Cregan has to bring it to turf. Vital looking for the second woman play. That's where they go. Talia. Show and go. The skipper is through. Just the fullback to beat. Finds Colio again. And the winger has got her second in the blink of an eye.
That was brilliant, brilliant rugby from Endeavour Hills. They're now starting to throw it to their outside backs once they realise that they have to ignore and try and get past this forward pack from Powerhouse. And they are stretching that second person play. Talia absolutely shot the gap, and Colio with the support. Brilliant from Endeavour Hills.
Well, we touched on it. First time all game, they've got it up to 5 phases. And Powerhouse done a good job of stopping them early in their sets within 3 or 4 phases. But it just goes to show you, you can retain possession. By the time you get to that 4th phase, 5th phase, the green screen breaks down a little bit.
You're right. That retention, that ball retention was very key for Endeavour Hills there. They stretched Powerhouse both to the far left and eventually breaking through here on the right. But that relies on all the hard workers, your back rowers and your centres and your wingers, giving you that clean ball at the breakdown. And so brilliant team try there from Endeavour Hills. And the Eagles, kick to come.
Chance to extend their lead. Talia in no rush, is she? Casually stalks in and thumps it through the middle. The lead, 5 points now in favour of the reigning champs.
What a statement from this Endeavour Hills side. Back-to-back tries through Colio. She'll be gunning for her hat-trick too.
Well, here come some replacements. Richard Inder off, and it looks like Reed is going to return. So we were a little bit unsure if Reed was done for the day, but she comes back out. And Jamison as well, looks like she's going to enter the fray. And she brings plenty of experience to the situation as well. Oh, and a kickoff fumble. And I know you bang on about it all the time, the importance of exiting after scoring points. And Endeavour Hills committed a cardinal sin there.
And we saw what Endeavour Hills reaped from the reward that they were given by Powerhouse. So Powerhouse now very good field position and another scrum, as we've seen, so successful so far today.
Was that Jamison who went on? I'm just trying to... Am I seeing things?
Either way, a lot of experience in this Powerhouse side. A lot of players that know how to play in finals. It's a different kettle of fish altogether, but mixed in with a lot of youth. And I love seeing the addition of new faces to the Lindroth competition this year.
So just the one back floating on the right-hand side here. Cato Sullivan of the scrum, that is. Navonu, of course, is a replacement now as well. She's on the left wing. They work it to Cook on the open side. Decides to take it herself into contact. Around the corner they fold. Early ball, looking for Donohoe. Brought down, 15 metres in from touch. They return it into the middle. Holding possession well is Bugden now. Tip of the spear. Did she get hit high? Play on, cut through the middle. Bugden might do it herself. Brought down by Funganar in the middle of the field. 15 metres out from the try line. No real advantage there, but she's like a pinball, isn't she, Bugden? Bouncing off defenders left, right and centre.
Loves to play the whistle as well, as you can see. She took the high shot for her team. Double try scorer this afternoon. Is it an afternoon yet? Yep. Just.
Yes.
But yeah, an absolute bulldozing runner. And they opt for the scrum again, although that was a much better scrum from Endeavour Hills. Granados having to pick and play that ball before she wanted to last scrum.
So we've got Carolyn Gray out there as well, packing down on the side. Is it possible that either Fabi or Coleman might have been subbed? Surely not.
Fabi's still working hard there.
Interesting formation. 2 on the left, 3 on the right for the backs, and the fullback Stoltz loitering in the middle. Here comes the shove again. Granados works it to the right. Cook thinks about the kick, puts a little grubber through into the corner. They're looking for O'Sullivan, and it beats them into touch.
Lovely kick in play by Cook there. Had Sullivan chasing down, and it's resulted in what will be a 5-metre line out on the 5-metre. So putting Barry under all sorts of pressure to try and exit this Eagles team out of trouble.
Yeah, so Carolyn Gray on for Sarah Mims, and I think Jamison's on for Coleman. Wow.
What an afternoon Coleman has had too.
Surely we'll see her again. That's a big call, taking off.
She did look like she was receiving some attention, so hopefully it's not a bad injury.
Barry with the throw. Picked off at the front. Gray immediately having an impact. And guess who's there? Cregan to clean up. They're about 10 metres short here. Can they respond? They look for a one-off run-up in Jamison. That's her first carry since coming on. Reed now. Nice little tip pass for Bugden. Gets her shoulders through the defensive line. Here comes the clean out. They're on the front foot as well. Around the corner, Fabi. Watch out for her. She gets a lunge. Just short. Around the corner they come with the pick and go. O'Sullivan just denied. The forwards want to keep it close. They power from close range. There goes Cregan. Just denied by a blade of grass. Dangerous times now for the defending champs as they come around the corner again. And they will not be denied by that woman again.
Katie Bugden, her third try for the afternoon. What an effort from her. What a fantastic pick-off in the line-out by Powerhouse. I knew Barry was under pressure, but it was picked off and then slowly worked from the far left side of the field all the way over to the left side, sorry. And that patience that Powerhouse showed to just keep regathering, retain possession. Endeavour Hills threw everything at that. So many bodies underneath. And the 5-pointer with the long arm stretch of Katie Bugden has bagged herself a third try in a grand final. That's something to be proud of at the end of the day, regardless of the result. But this battle just continues.
Massive kick now for Nikki Cook. And they're going to be a few changes as well for the Eagles. It looks like Lassie Kalia is going to come on. And our favourite young gun, Claudia Barry, is going to be subbed off here, I fancy. But Cook with a chance to put Powerhouse in the lead. And does. '21 plays 19. And we did say in our preview during the week, this game could come down to the goal kicking of Cook if it was going to be a close contest. I still feel there's more points in this, Mel.
The final 20 minutes, strap yourselves in, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be fantastic. Can Endeavour Hills strike back yet again? Can we have 2 players on the field with hat-tricks in this grand final? Powerhouse need to receive and kick this safe distance.
Again, they go long. They've struggled with this all afternoon. They let it bounce again. Jamison, though, finally claims it on the 22. They're not out of trouble yet, Powerhouse. What lessons have they learnt from their last 2 failed exits? Cook puts it on the shoe. Bit of a banana kick into touch, and they get a penalty as well. High shot. Yeah, that's important.
Jamison actually high shot there, unfortunately, by Pritchard. She was flying in, as Endeavour Hills do, to try and chance their arm to turn over the ball. Unfortunately, caught her a little bit high, and so Powerhouse will get the opportunity to give themselves breathing space after the 5-pointer restart. And it's a great purchase from Cook too, beyond the halfway. Powerhouse now would be feeling a little bit buoyed by their position and on the field and with having possession with the ball. Endeavour Hills just needing to turn this over now. So watch for some strong defensive tackles coming through the centre pairing, Talia and Pritchard.
Oh, it just escapes the fingers of Fabi, but they'll come away with it nevertheless. As they peel off the back, there she goes again. Bugden puts the grubber kick through. It'll flirt with the touchline. Funganar has to race to get back there. Beats them all into touch. And, well...
What a result from Katie Bugden. Plugging the corner. She seems to be putting it on her back today. She's plugged the corner. And just like we saw in the last try, Endeavour Hills will need to, A, claim the line out, and then B, get themselves out of trouble.
So we've seen a real seesawing affair this afternoon. So often the team that scores immediately concedes points. Looking to buck the trend here now is Powerhouse. And, they've picked it off as well. Advantage Powerhouse. It's Carolyn Gray goes marching forward. 5 metres short of the line. Granados, well, she was really hammered there, and danger time, long arm penalty within 5 metres of the line. We've seen this before. Well, I don't think there's going to be much consultation here. They know that the scrum has decimated the Eagles this afternoon. Can they do it again?
That was really unfortunate. There was a flood of bodies in at that ruck, and the ball seemed to have spat out, but referee said that it was a ruck first, and that's what the penalty was for. Now Powerhouse, with probably their best opportunity for the afternoon so far to go a few points ahead on the scoreboard and give them some scoreboard pressure. They'll just need to feed and hold, and Endeavour Hills need to hold this as well.
Now, a bit of a shift because of all of these replacements. It looks like Fabi is going to pack down at 8. And if they go for the pushover here, Powerhouse, if there's any suggestions they've got dominance, it'll be up to Fabi to control it at the back, which, as you said, is a skill unto itself. And we know Coleman is an expert at soccering it forward. What can Fabi do? Better shove this time. Fabi has to go down the short side. Gets the pass away. O'Sullivan couldn't handle it, though.
Oh, that just went fingertips behind. It was well read to pick, because that was a wonderful scrum by Endeavour Hills. Really took it to them. It wasn't going backwards at all. And now we have a bit of indecision. They're not sure whether it was going back for the scrum or line out. And it is a scrum feed now on the 5 metre to Endeavour Hills, because it was knocked on first.
So it was a better scrum on that occasion by the Eagles.
Much better.
I wonder if Kalia's inclusion into the front row in the last 2 minutes might have had something to do about that. But it's almost a virtually new front row. Urumapu, Kalia, Fa'aiwaso for the Eagles. Not out of the woods yet, though. This is the most challenging time for a front row. Scrum on your own 5 metre line. Interesting formation here as well from the Eagles. Whilst there are 2 women in the backfield for Powerhouse, the backs are shaping like a run formation. Here comes the shove from Powerhouse. What an effort that was. And don't they know it?
They talk about moments in the game, and that was a moment that Powerhouse can be so very proud of. Scrum penalty.
Last quarter of the match, up by 2 points. And if they score here, you're right, Mel, that'll be seen as one of the turning points in this match. They've called the scrum predictably, and now it's take two. Only moments ago, the Eagles did a fantastic job of repelling the Powerhouse scrum in a similar situation. They need to put a big shove on here and deny Emma Fabi the chance to come off the back. They're going to be under all sorts of pressure now, the front row.
Watch for Vital and Talia to shorten up and close that gap just for that very purpose, in case there is a pick and go just 5 metres out.
Here comes the feed. Solid to start with from Powerhouse. They use the backs, interestingly. Taking it to the line. Hard crush ball there, looking for Donahoe.
What a read. What a defensive read.
Great defence, yeah.
Fantastic scrum by Endeavour Hills to stand up when no one... Well, it was such a moment for them as well to defend that scrum and force them to play it out wide where they knew their defenders would be able to apply pressure. What a read from Endeavour Hills. Well done. And they will get the scrum feed now. So it's not over yet.
You're right, not over yet. Granados getting a bit of attention. There looks like there's going to be a change as well for the Eagles. Who this they got coming out? Is that 11? What?
Oh, unfortunately, it looks like it's
Is that Penny Eli going off?
with a slight injury.
Oh,
I
wow.
hope that she's okay.
Now she's carrying somebody off. Who's that? Sorry, folks. It's not too many times. Not too many times this year. Commentary box is on the opposite side of the field to the reserve, so we're not going to get instantaneous feedback from the coaches and the players. So apologies if we're not straight on it. Who's that? Number 20. Oh no, that's Penny Eli.
Yeah, Penny Eli.
Oh, and it was this, yeah, Fata Eli was helping her off the field. Now, I fancy that might be Chantel Latu coming out now.
Yes, with the white ribbon.
Yeah.
Oh, they've all got
They've
white
all got
ribbons.
white Well spotted. Where's Chantel going to move to? To the left wing, perhaps?
Such is the...
Okay, so I think what's happening is Wadi Jacopo
Yes.
is going to go to halfback. Chantel Latu is going to go to
The wing?
the swing and bing. Yeah.
No, that's what finishers are for. Throughout the season, you really rotate your bench to try and get as much experience and time. And it is a tactical move to sometimes leave some finishers for this exact reason. The last 15, 20 minutes of a grand final match when you need that new energy. And Endeavour Hills' front row is really holding right now.
Better job this time from the Eagles. They play out the back. Talia puts it through the hands. Funganar wants to use it to Colio, racing over the 22. Brought down. Oh, no, she isn't. She's evaded Stoltz. Colio might just get the hat trick. Well, can you believe it? 2 women in the Lindroth Cup Grand Final claiming hat tricks. They're going toe to toe, and nothing splitting these two sides. What a moment.
What a moment for the youngster Corleo to absolutely, with 90 metres in front of her, their backs on their own defensive line, to put it through the hands and to have the belief in yourself to run, evade the flying fullback in Stoltz. And it was open fields and she's marched it right underneath the post. Endeavour Hills, unbelievable hit back against the run of play.
Well, they were camped on their own try line for the best part of 9 minutes. defending scrum after line out after scrum, and it felt inevitable that Powerhouse were going to eventually turn that territory into points. And yet, it's the backs of Endeavour Hills who find a way of flipping the table of Powerhouse, and such bravery running it from your own try line. And it was Talia on that second woman play out the back who created the space, but still so much to do for Collio when she got it. Gosh, didn't she do a number on Natalie Stoltz? Oh, no.
Oh, that's unfortunate. The conversion's been missed. But I've got to shout it back also to that front row from Endeavour Hills that are holding that scrum pressure being under so much pressure.
Ooh, how critical will that miss be? From in front, 24 plays 21 in favour of the Eagles.
It would have been a nice, handy 5-point buffer, but they'll take the 3, I'm sure. The Powerhouse now sniffing it out.
I don't know if you're the person to answer. What happens at full time if we're all locked up?
We got to play for a result. It's grand final day and somebody's walking over here, I'm sure.
Cook goes short to the right. Oh, and again it's fumbled. Second kickoff reception in a row from Endeavour Hills where they've failed to take it on the full. And this theme almost seems to continue. Teams that score having a real tough time of getting out of their half.
Yeah, it's just allowing the opposition back into this. What's been a fantastic grand final to watch. Both teams playing to their strengths, Powerhouse forwards and then Endeavour Hills backs. But really across the park, these two teams have done us justice today with a really strong battle here on Field 1.
So we're thinking there's about 16 minutes to play in the GF, give or take a minute or two. And it's been a great game as well. Got to acknowledge whenever we can our referees Chris Richards and the touchies Aaron Reid and Bryce Cornan have done a great job today. Fortunately haven't seen any yellow cards, such has been the discipline, as Cook late switch there. The pass was a little bit low, but Donahoe's done well to recover nevertheless. High shot again. We're just talking about discipline. Faltering for a moment from the Eagles is Bugden. Look at her go. Gets over the A-line. One woman wrecking ball today is Bugden. Cregan, tip of the spear. Nice little tip pass as well. Goes into touch, but we had a high shot a little bit earlier. And is this within kicking range, Mel?
Oh, I'd say it's a touch out, although I have seen Cook slot them from around the 40 before. Probably looking to put this one deep in the corner and bring themselves back into that
set piece battle that they've dominated today. That's not going to help because it won't find touch. The kick, though, well, they might want to run it, will they? Vital, look at the defence meeting her. That's a wild flick out the back. Is it going to pay off for them? They've got numbers down the short side here. The far side of the fields have an unmarked Collio. You've got to be careful of her, but they return it back into the middle instead. So, Endeavour Hills now happy to run it. Nui Pelusu gets them over the 22. There's the error, though.
Oh, that was unfortunate. You mentioned the threat that Powerhouse have identified. Collio is a huge threat, so they had 3 on the short side defending her. Endeavour Hills swung it straight back into the middle and unfortunately just come forward there. So Powerhouse again with a scrum feed in enemy territory.
So who's this? It looks like Fraser coming off, is it? And are we going to get Coleman back out there? Yep. And very well maybe another change for the Eagles. Got a couple of players down on their haunches here as well.
Just arrived. Congratulations to Powerhouse.
One player that has had a very, very strong and solid afternoon is Endeavour Hills fullback, Fanguna. She just manages to run them out of trouble and has picked the right option in sending that ball wide, even though that she's in her own 22. She's had a great afternoon fielding the kicks as well, so she's been a key difference.
Yeah, Cook has turned her around quite a few times, burying it into the corner. I like the way Cook's varied her kicking game today, but
It's true. It's match for match here. It's been a wonderful match-up all day.
Yeah, but Fungana, her positional play has been outstanding, the fullback. And certainly helped them escape more often than not from on their own try line when most other fullbacks would have just taken the tackle on their line.
Such is the belief in their backs. I think Talia as well, her touches today, every time she's touched the ball, she's either put her teammate through a gap or shot the gap herself. So with backlines like that, Endeavour Hill's playing with so much confidence. And this is the reason why Collier has just finished off what is a wonderful backline plays from the Endeavour Hills.
So it must be a calf or an ankle injury, it looks like here, perhaps a bit of a cramp, which has caused break in play. And Grace Bacon is warming up on the sideline. She might be coming back. Oh yeah, this doesn't look good, does it? Who is this? Oh no, Filipina. And I'll tell you what, her defensive work in the first half in particular was outstanding.
That's right.
Yeah, I think Bacon's going to come back out. There she goes. She's already had a hot shower. Thought her day was done.
More minutes in the final. Couldn't ask for anything else, actually. Sure she'd be raring to go.
Now, what's the play here, Mel? We can see from this scrum, supposing it does go to the backs, they've got one back on the left, 5 on the right. Who's the strike weapon on first phase? How do you want to see it? Maybe a grubber kick in the backfield, use the centres, shift it wide. How would you play this?
That pairing, Donahue especially, I think if she can find Stoltz, who hasn't had a sort of a penetrative touch in the back line, I'd like to see them work together, but they are against, Chantal Latte, who's just come on with fresh legs, and she's a great read in defence. But if they can maintain possession until this forward pack is out of the scrum and can send some hard runners like Bugden and Fabi through, they've just got to hold on to the ball here, Powerhouse. Hold on to the ball, give yourself a shot.
Yeah. Final 10 minutes of the contest. Great initial shove from the house. Happy to march it forward. Play for the penalty. Clever stuff, this. Eventually they come off the back. Granados brought down bang on the 22. The forwards align. One to the right. Cregan. Always a threat. Slow to roll away here is Eli. Yeah, she's going to be penalised for that. Fata Eli. And it's within kicking range. Bugden wants to do it herself. That's an inspirational carry. Gets them on the front foot. Opens up a bit of space on the right. That's where they go. Cook puts it through the hands. Daly with the tip pass. They race up on Donahoe. She's brought down Stoltz about 5 metres in from the right-hand touchline. No advantage. Decision time, Mel. What are you thinking? Down by 3 points. 10 minutes to play.
I mean, Cook from in front, that is a sure thing, just about. But with the scrum working so well, the scrum penalty is almost a surety as well. So they've opted for the scrum. So they'll give themselves the chance to score 5. They've said, no, we'll stuff the 3. We want to go in front.
I like it. If you kick a penalty, you don't win the grand final because you're still going to have to get another score at some point. So why not just get the score you need now and, back your defence for the 5 minutes of footy to try to win it. So I like the thinking behind it. Still a lot to do, though. Look how flat they're standing as well. This backline on the left for Powerhouse there.
It is quite flat.
Very abrasive.
But they do a lot of movement right at the line. So I think that plays into their favour.
Solid platform. They peel off. Here she goes. Coleman back on the field. Show and go. Vitao does a great tackle. They have to be careful of the counter ruck. Here it comes from the 2 centres. They retain possession, though. Back to the right they go. Jamison. Second carry since coming on the field. Options left and right here for Granados. Another lazy body at the bottom of the ruck. Fabi, one off. Great tackle that from Talia. Inspirational stuff from the skipper. Coleman. What say can she have in the final 10 minutes? Granados wants to go to Bugden. We've got to watch out for Bugden cutting through. The lock might do it and does do it. She dots it down under the black dot, and Powerhouse hit the front.
Who else? Who else but Katie Bugden? That was unbelievable. What a change of pace. She had the whole centre of the park to beat, and she did it. She just backed herself, and that's her fourth. That's her fourth try this afternoon. I have to give it back to Ali Coleman, who a few plays before took a few hit-ups where I think she's busted her nose, but she got straight back up and into the firing line again. And between Ali Coleman and Katie Bugden, this powerhouse forward pack is refusing to go to die, basically, refusing. And Katie Bugden's individual brilliance there on show for everyone to see. And now so many heads are turning to this field one to realise what's going on.
Yeah, well, up by 2, kick to come, which will stretch it to 4.
Who scores 4 tries in a grand final? Who scores 3 tries in a grand final? This is outstanding. I don't know the contest between these two teams, their try scoring ability. We've been blessed to watch this. Outstanding.
Flags are raised. Cook delivers a dagger to the Eagles' hopes. They're up by 4 now. A penalty goal won't do it for the Eagles. And I'll tell you what, there aren't too many times in history where a player has scored 3 tries in a final. I'm looking at Juliana Collio, and been on the losing side and missed out on Woman of the Match honours. Reminds me of Mbappe in France in the Soccer World Cup. He scored a hat-trick in the final and they lost. Oh my gosh.
No omens
Surely
here.
not.
No omens here.
Surely not. Still plenty of time to play though. I fancy there's still time for 1, maybe even 2 scores. You don't want to ride it off yet. You feel like there's some points, and that's a great tackle right there. This game's going to open up, I feel, here, Mel. So who's going to have the final say? Powerhouse have struggled to exit after points this afternoon. Have they learnt their lessons? Jamison, head down. They pile into the base. Around the corner they come. Gray now putting her hand up for work, running straight at Bacon. Retaining possession well for now.
They've got penalty advantage as well.
That's going to help the Exeter mightily as they work it to the right. Free roll of the dice. Kick goes into touch.
That'll do it.
That's all she
That will
wrote.
do it.
The Eagles have been upset by the might of Powerhouse, and their reign comes to an end.
What an incredible finish to an incredible game. Powerhouse victors in the end with a fantastic narrow lead of 4 points, but 4 tries to 3 tries, an absolute arm wrestle all game. Endeavour Hills with the absolute talent in the backs, their ability to score on a dime. They put so much pressure on Powerhouse in those early moments of the game, but Powerhouse forward pack stood up throughout the game. What an incredible final.
There's no official award we give, but our woman of the match,
Undoubtedly.
hard to go past the 4-try hero, Katie Bugden.
She really stood up when Powerhouse were on the ropes. Endeavour Hills had scored 2 tries back-to-back to start to breach a lead, and it was Katie Bugden who started straightening the attack on the back of a fantastic scrum. We can't go past the scrum of Powerhouse today. So, and Nikki Cook on a string too, digging into the corners, putting pressures. Endeavour Hill being parked on their line. Endeavour Hill, the ability to run 90 metres and score themselves. They threw everything at it, but we have a new champion in the Lindroth Cup.
Their first championship since 2019, and I was told by some of the women pre-game, they got this saying, was it fun, fast and flirty? Is that their catchphrase for the year, Powerhouse?
I think it's gone a few times through Annika Jamison over the years, but you can tell by the way that they get around each other, that all season they have just supported each other through the entire season, having fun, getting new recruits to rugby. So what a display, what an example of what women's rugby can do.
Well, I think you're saying Kate O'Sullivan on the wing hadn't played a game of rugby in her life 8 weeks ago, and now has a premiership.
The luck of some people, eh?
And, I mean, Same number of tries. It did come down to goal kicking in the end, and Nikki Cook, I mean,
Solid with the boot.
solid. You're right. So many players to look at across the field and say what an impact they had. The back row was brilliant. The front row, in terms of the number of scrums, they decimated today. Kicking game of Cook. It was a thriller of a grand final, and hopefully sets the tone for the rest of the afternoon as Field 2, who's that? Bendigo.
Like Bendigo having around. It's been a fantastic game so far. Really looking forward to the rest of the afternoon. Thanks everyone for watching at home and supporting rugby this entire season.
It's first of our triple headers. For those tuning in at home, we'll be covering up next the Premiership, kicking off at 1 o'clock between Shepparton and Geelong. And joining us on the microphone, Namani Nadolo, who will be in the commentary box for that as well. And then, of course, after that, we will be showing the Jewish Shield Grand Final at 3 o'clock between Powerhouse and Footscray. For now, though, we're going to take a short break and be back in about 15 minutes' time for the Premiership Grand Final.